Let me tell you a tale of two women. As Charles Dickens, in his famous novel, A Tale of Two Cities, as Dickens says, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And as time usually reveals to us, it's never quite right when whatever life brings comes upon us. It's never the right time. Something always comes up. Life is always happening. And that is why you and I are here. We are here because it's never the right time. A tale of two women, both encountering the worst of times, and both women with vastly different outcomes. Tanya. Tanya is 23 years old. She was raised in foster care. She was taken away from her parents when she was 9 years old. Her parents struggled with addiction, and Tanya experienced things that no child should ever experience. She was often cold and hungry. She and her siblings were left alone far too often to fend for themselves. Tanya was sexually abused by her parents' friends over and over and over. There was no one to protect her and no one to hear her cries. At 17, Tanya became pregnant. Her 28-year-old boyfriend didn't work and didn't want the baby. Tanya had an abortion. Tanya faced the worst of times. Chelsea is 24 years old. She was raised by both of her parents. Life was not always easy for Chelsea, but she had a supportive family. Chelsea made some choices in high school that made her parents worry. She skipped classes. She missed a few curfews. But because Chelsea was raised in a loving home, she began to reconsider her actions and her behaviors, and she got back on track. Chelsea went to college, and just as she was about to graduate, she discovered she was pregnant. Chelsea had a loving family that rallied behind her, and Chelsea went on to graduate. Chelsea is a nurse, and she is caring for her daughter. Chelsea faced the best of times. The best of times, the worst of times. Two women, two stories, two outcomes. Now you might ask, what does this have to do with the church? What do the lives and choices of two young women have to do with you and me? How can we come together as a community to disciple and support these young women and many, many like them? And that is my question for the church community. My name is Dr. Karen Stevenson. I'm a medical doctor. I'm an ordained minister, and I am the executive director of this phenomenal nonprofit. We come together to bring churches together, whether they're liberal or conservative, whether they're Protestant, Catholic, whether they're mainline or evangelical. We come together and we bring churches together to provide loving support and a loving community for women and their children who are facing a critical time in their lives, for women who are facing unplanned pregnancies.